And here we go.
Did it again, Bruce.
Every time. Every time.
Oh boy.
Okay, so did we just start?
Yep, because he's gonna keep all this.
Okay. Welcome back to another episode of the Reading Black Girls podcast.
Hi. Hello.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can we
run
that back?
Run that shit back.
Just run
please.
it back because we do this.
You
every
can't
time.
give it to us dry like that. You got to get that wet first.
Bring that back.
Okay. It's early.
Kayla, please.
Trying to get a little energy.
Time.
I did not choose this time. I did not
well,
choose
whatever.
this time.
You reminded us of the time. Let's get it together. We're talking about our fave book. Let it invigorate you.
Okay. Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Reading Black Girls podcast. I'm Kayla.
I'm Alex.
I'm Aziza.
And I'm Denisha.
And we're the Reading Black Girls, if you didn't already know. So, period. Today is a day today is a day that TRBG has been waiting for a while. Now, if you listen to the Legenborn podcast, you know that, Alex and Aziza were on this. They were on the Legenborn series, okay, like White on Rice. It took Nishi, Pooh, and I a little bit of time to get into it, but the girls are obsessed.
Yeah.
Okay, but I will say I'm glad I waited, because if I would have had to wait with everyone else for a year or so, I literally wouldn't have made it. And the fact that I now have to wait again. I'm unwell. I haven't even dealt with it since I finished reading this like over a week ago.
I don't think any of us have.
Not okay.
Yeah, we read it and then we were just like, okay.
I
need something
bad
else.
withdrawals. Yeah, bad withdrawals. I had to immediately jump into another series.
Immediately. Yeah. But this is a long-awaited sequel to Tracy Deonn's Legenborn. We have Bloodmarked. The girls are so excited. Thank you, Imani. From Simon & Schuster to getting us this advanced reader's copy.
Thank you.
I love you.
Man,
yeah, we really appreciate that. On some real stuff, like when we got this arc, y'all, this I feel like made us like this solidified like our place in the Instagram world. Like
we were
real
one of those
official.
girls.
Bloodmarked. Yeah. We're doing big things. Very exciting. So we're extremely appreciative.
Definitely.
All right. So we're going to jump into what do we want to start with? Trigger warnings, characters?
Let's just start. Bloodmarked.
A quick synopsis.
Bloodmarked is the sequel to Legendborn. It's basically follows Bree, our girl, our favorite girl. It just follows her throughout trying to just get her life together after the ending of Legendborn. She's trying to figure out her powers, figure out her place in this world, and figure out how to navigate everything essentially on her own with the help of a couple friends that she trusts closely. So, that's Bree. It's still Bree trying to get her stuff together and simultaneously trying to figure out how to handle being the scion of Arthur, as well as being the scion of her matriarchal family. Right?
Yeah,
that was
pretty much. Yeah,
pretty much.
Of Vera. Okay, daughter of daughters,
daughter of daughters, daughter of sons. Like, and her just trying to get her life together. So, trigger warnings for this book would be pretty much the same as Legenborn. They're talking about the same topics.
And just a refresher for those who need it, trigger warnings are death, murder, violence, racism, microaggressions, and this time also lack of bodily consent. So if any of those are triggering, just, be aware before you jump into the book. But I mean, let's get into it, y'all. First of all, starting off with just the dedication for every Black girl who was the first.
It was so good.
Tracy.
That's just, please.
That's so touching. It means a lot.
Right.
Like, this is for us.
It really does.
It's for the girls,
whoever is the first at whatever you're doing, it's for you.
And this is 2022. We're still seeing the first. We're still seeing first Black woman this, first Black woman that. So this is
right.
very relevant.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the rest of y'all, if you haven't had a chance to read the book, and you don't want spoilers, go ahead and skedaddle. Get out of here.
Come back after.
We're about to get into it.
Come back after. Let us know if you had the same takeaways. If you agree, disagree, show up in the comments, because we do read your comments. And we'll probably respond, because this one is near and dear.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Very.
So see you later.
Ta-ta.
Now.
Okay, for y'all who have read this book.
Whoo, baby.
Did you cry? Like,
yes.
I did. I was very unwell when I finished.
I feel like this was like a nightly session for myself, was just to get Black and Bloodmarked. I was trying to take my time, y'all. I really was. I really tried to give myself like weeks. I was like, oh, Sissy's only going to read 50 pages a night. And we're just going to cap it at that. Just so you don't, like, the fact that we have to wait even longer for this third book than we had to for Bloodmarked is low-key like,
Tracy, just let us know. Is the draft in preparation?
Please.
I just need to know.
Yeah.
I just need to know.
I'm trying to give her the time and space she rightly deserves, because I think sometimes we have a bad habit of just gobbling up art and then demanding it the next piece, like, come on. And I don't think that's fair. She gave us not one but two masterpieces.
Incredible books. Yeah.
So
and I'm not gonna lie,
it pains me, I can be patient.
As much as it's going to hurt, and every day I'm still thinking about this book as I continue to dive into new books, I'm not sure I'm gonna make it. So
it's okay. The one thing that I think
is
good is that our Black authors are just constantly pushing out good ass books. My TBR gets longer and longer every week. Shit, every day.
Literally every day you're adding a book to your TBR.
True. It's only to keep me from falling into depression.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
We're only
so far it's working. So I
Tracy,
mean, if this was your way of personally challenging me to read X amount of books by the time you give me the new one, fine. I'll take that challenge, because I'm gonna do it, because I'm not okay. But let's. Okay, so one of the overarching things that we all, I think, noticed was Bree truly showing her age in this book.
Yes.
Sis kept making decisions over and over. I was like, okay, wait, no, it's fine.
Poor decisions.
She's only a teenage girl.
Yeah, she's 16, going on 17. But they also kept saying, like, what do you want to do? And she was like, shit, I don't know.
I mean, to be honest,
she's like, please.
If you was appointed king and you didn't even know that, she literally just found out, like,
2 days ago.
In reality, like 2 days ago.
Third day out here.
And then they're like, what do you want to do? She was like, I only been here for 3 days. Like,
it's only my third day out here. I don't know.
Like, I don't know.
She has no time to acclimate herself, no time to think about it, no choice in the matter, which is actually another huge theme that we'll talk about, the lack of choice Bree got in a lot of things. But she was definitely showing her age. She was very immature for a lot of the decisions she made. she was selfish for a lot of the decisions. I feel like she wanted to help her friends, but the way she wanted to help them was putting her at risk, and they were like, you don't understand. You are of extreme importance. You can't put yourself at risk to save us. That's not even your job. And it took her a while to understand that, like, the value she had, not only to her friends, but to the order overall.
But I feel like that's low-key like an allegory of just like a Black woman's experience, always putting ourselves last for the betterment of others, you know, especially those that we care about. So hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yeah.
I also felt like Brie was like super trusting of everyone in the beginning. Like she just had no other reason not to trust them. And it's kind of like, I mean, after Legendborn, like she had reasons not to trust people, but she kind of just didn't know who. She tried to keep her circle small, but it's like there's other people playing into this. Like I had no idea the order was going to be as important in Bloodmarked as it was. Like I didn't even like think like, oh, well, who are going to be like the people that were on top? Because they came through to the school.
And they had like complete control over everything, you know?
And they kept reminding her, they're like, you taken the oath. We run things around here. And she was like, but I'm the king. And they're like, okay, but it doesn't matter.
They're like, exactly.
It doesn't matter.
And
so. But Brie also did try to pull rank at the oddest times. Like it was never when, I won't say it wasn't when it mattered, but you know, sometimes you gotta play the game, right?
Correct.
Chess, not checkers. And she was playing Uno at one point, and they were.
She was not
like Brie.
Uno,
come on, honey.
You are so silly.
Sissy wasn't playing the Game of Thrones. She was not playing the Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
she wasn't.
Not.
But let's also remember, like, if she wasn't brought up.
No, she
had
no clue.
Things. Now, if she had the same background as Nick, I think our girl would have been okay. But the fact that he was missing, so he couldn't even give her any advice, which, Nick being gone this whole book.
That was shocking to me. I did not anticipate him being gone the entire time. Now, it worked out in our favor because honestly, forget Nick. They can't even be together anyways. So it gave us the opportunity to focus on what's important. Cell and Brie. Cell and Brie.
I think their relationship, like they grew so much from this book.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
her development of their relationship.
So good.
Very good.
It was so well done. Like the angst that built and like the trust and then the breaking of the trust and how she decided to deal with that. I was so sad for Brie when Cell betrayed her trust because she was like, okay, like you the one person that I thought, and especially knowing what she went through. So now we might as well just get into it. The amount of times Brie's consent was just a non-factor over her own body in this broke my heart. She's a 17-year-old girl being kidnapped, I think multiple times, was experimented on, and they ignored what she wanted. They were really finna lock her up for forever. They're like, yeah, you're
call it a
king
day.
We don't know what
in
your
the
power
background,
is,
but we're gonna leave Nick at the forefront.
And we're also not going to tell everyone what's going on.
Exactly. They're like, for the sake of the order, let's just keep Nick at the forefront. And it was a very interesting choice for Tracy to make. And I actually really liked it. Like that realism aspect in the book of like, Brie, you're still Black and you're still a woman. And right now the order's like, it was
we don't know what to do
bad enough. Right. It was bad enough that a woman is now king, but a Black, a negress, It was too much for them.
But Brie was like, "But let's talk about how I'm even king." Do you want to get into
trying to say,
and
she want to get
and
into
nobody
it?
wanted
and
to
they
talk
kept
about
ignoring
it.
her. They were like,
nobody wanted to talk about
anyway,
we don't need to talk about that.
I said, look, it's here. We are not going back. All right, let's focus on the present. But
absolutely, it's so realistic. That's so realistic because
so realistic.
You know,
literally,
white people never want to talk about this. They never want to talk about this.
Yeah, and the fact that their oaths didn't like burn them up, like they so deeply believed that what they were doing was right. Yeah, that they couldn't be harmed by their oaths, which was just another layer of
realism,
white supremacy, and that realism, like you really think that you're in the right, like you really thought that she was beneath this entire order, and that having her in her position of birthright as a king would be harmful to the order. Like that was aggravating. It was so aggravating.
I was just waiting. I'm like, I can't wait till Brie beat some ass.
Correct.
Like, I wanted her to wild out, but then it's like she couldn't wild out. Like there was moments where she did, like she made these kind of like immature choices in the moment. And I'm glad like she had somebody like who was helping her out. William was like, Sissy.
We love William.
William was really like
he was really
trying to give her some game. Like he was like, this is how you play the Game of Thrones, baby. Like you can't blow up in front of people like that, because then they don't trust you even more.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Like,
and these are your subjects.
Everyone that you have a temper.
Yeah.
Right.
And these are your future subjects.
Yeah. We
like,
talk about Alice as a good friend, but William was also.
I'm just so happy she had both of them. She had both of them in her corner.
I think that was the
thank goodness for it.
I love that they were both gay.
Yeah,
it was just amazing
that she had both of them there, and that she got to have Alice there the whole entire time.
Yeah, she said, y'all need to make a way for Alice to be in this world too, because I can't do it without her. Period. I could not do it without her.
Figure something out.
Oh, and she was fierce.
She's not going nowhere.
Yeah,
Alice caught on so quickly and was really about it.
Yeah,
she said, "I'm a vassal now. Perfect.
Bet.
Let's figure this thing out, because
she said, "Where's the library?"
And I don't like that.
Yeah, where's the books? Because I'm a study up real quick. She caught on faster than Brie.
Yeah,
she did.
Honestly,
probably because I'm gonna chalk it up to the fact that Brie had multiple things to figure out.
Oh yeah,
she was busy. A blood crafter, the scion of Arthur. So it was multiple things happening at once. But Alice definitely did catch on a lot faster than Brie, and Alice still made more sound decisions than Brie did. But again, Brie had a lot going on, and so let's just say that contributed to her.
They were helping her out.
Poor choices.
But so another discussion point. So when Brie was kidnapped and they were just sedating her, trying to figure out what they were going to do with her. It was the regent, from her. Erebus. What was that? The other bitchy regent lady.
It was like
I know who you're talking about.
Something like that. Ooh, she was such a.
She was literally the worst.
Yeah. And just that whole breakout scene, I don't know, like one of y'all posted it on Goodreads or something. You were like, thank God. Because I was like, if she's like kidnapped this whole time, I'm gonna be sick.
Bruh.
But when that whole breakout scene, like literally getting a phone call and they're like, okay, you don't know who I am, but you have X amount of time. And if you don't take it, you'll be stuck in it forever.
Said you better decide right now. She was like, no room for hesitation. Had her running down that tunnel in the pitch black dark. They said, Brie, nothing is in front of you.
Just run.
You need to run faster, okay?
And she was like, my lungs. I can't run much faster.
Was really led by faith in that moment, baby.
Woo.
Running
literally faith and not by sight.
They said, okay.
Oh my gosh. And then when she got past that barrier and then she turned and she see her sissy Alice, I would have just fell onto the floor like,
thank God y'all are here. Woo!
Oh my gosh.
So
also, I felt so bad for Cell throughout this whole moment. Like Cell really was going through his own thing. Like he was on the run, then he came back for Bree. Like he just could never he just never left her hanging. But like he came back, got caught up, got thrown in jail again. Like he had to get his own way out.
Was ready to take the whole L. He was like, "Yeah, I did it." The fact that
Bree
they
was so
blamed
mad.
all that stuff on Cell,
right?
But
like,
he was the perfect scapegoat.
He was
the perfect
blood.
Yeah, because of who his mom was and her experience.
The same thing happened to her.
Mom is, she escaped from the prison. Nobody knows where she is.
I really wonder where she is, y'all.
I really think she's gonna make an appearance in this third book.
She better, because I'm ready to meet her.
She has to, because at the end of this one, Bree, when she took, because now we got to talk about a different point, because when we found out that Erebus is actually not the villain, but trying to help her, and Bree goes with him, she's like, okay, but the one thing you need to do, like, I need you to help out my man Cell. And I'm pretty sure Cell goes wherever his mom is.
I thought Erebus was the ultimate evil, like the Shadow King.
Well,
I think
thought that.
We all did, but sometimes you make
kind of like a gray area
with
it's
kind of the most popular character.
Yeah, I think when Tracy basically presented Valachez, and like you see how gray he is, and he works in the middle, and it's kind of like based on his own intent, what he's wanting to accomplish. It could be of malice, or it could be of something of help for people. That just kind of showed Bree like, okay, well, I'm gonna just trust my gut, and like I'm gonna make my own deals of what I want. I don't want to be objective of what is good and what is bad. So she like, okay, she said, Vera made a deal with you. This was you the whole time. All right, bet. Like, you need to help me out, because like I got stuff I need to get done. So if you can help me with that, bet.
You want what I got, that's fine, but let's go ahead and make this deal right. And I will say that like that whole like being introduced to Valchez and getting to see this like magical pub where people just come to get magic or like basically upgrade their little magic deal package, I thought was so freaking funny. Like he just was giving me like such trickster vibes. Like, the guy from The Princess and the Frog, the voodoo man.
Oh, low key.
Like it was giving me that the whole time. And I was like, oh, I'm loving this. But then like finding out that he originally was from what?
That was Pearl's baby.
Like that was
Pearl's baby.
That? I said, now wait a minute.
Half demon, half human. Pearl was like, we were like, we got to get rid of him.
Bree was like, I know who he is.
And he said,
how you know my mama?
That? How you know my mama? It was like, so shocked.
And what you know about her? Like
she was like, I did a memory walk.
I was there.
So they took me. I mean, and she didn't even do that memory walk on her own. Like they took her to see that.
They took her and made her. Yeah.
She like, that wasn't even on me.
Right.
My bad.
Said, my bad.
Hard to get too much in your business.
Right.
My fault. I love like any type of YA book at all when there's like this bar club scene. That is just iconic to me when they have to sneak into a bar club. It happens in a lot of YA books. Like I love that. It's like, ooh, like something.
Because there's just so much going on. Like there's just always like, first off, if you go to a regular bar, it's always so much going on. Put a little magic up in there. Like just imagine cracking people over the head with a little magical spell when you get into a bar fight. Like, come on. I was living. I thought that was so much fun.
Okay, but can we also talk about Cell and Bree scene in the bathroom?
I was just about to say,
I mean, that was part of the
bar was one of my favorite scenes between them, because that's when Cell is like finally gives us a little truth about how he's feeling about Bree, because in front of everyone, he's trying to play it all cool. He's like, yeah, Bree looks nice, and Alice is like, nice,
like she looks like good.
My right here look good. She the baddest in the game. Like, what are you talking about? And then Cell in private was like, you look devourable, and that's something I don't want to share in mixed company. Like, Selwyn.
Okay.
Audibly
Selwyn
gulps.
Kane. I gulped. I was blushing.
Ooh. Sweating a little bit.
Butterflies. My hands got a little clammy because that was a lot. That was a lot.
He's so sweet. And okay, but every time she got in contact with Nick, like I thought it was very creative how she like was able to contact
her dream
him.
walk FaceTime.
Not the FaceTime.
But she finessed.
She
was trying to finesse Arthur. She was trying to finesse Arthur, and then all of a sudden Nick's there.
Arthur was finessing her at the same time.
Literally,
right?
First of all, right? Can we talk about Arthur's made wanting to take over her body,
daughter of sons,
and her conscience? He was really giving colonizing white man. Like he was like, oh, this black body, yeah, that's mine now to do with it. As
he was like, she doesn't realize how strong she is. Get out that girl body.
Trick her.
Get her body
out.
and
Manipulate her. They should have exercised him.
When they had the chance.
When they had the chance.
Patricia, as soon as Patricia saw Bree, she should have just laid hands on her. Bop! And exercised Arthur, because he did need to be exercised with his demonic ass.
That part.
Now Vera was just trying to give her advice. Okay.
Right.
Vera was just giving her the tea, letting her know what's going on with her past lives, her ancestors. But Arthur was like, I'll give you a taste of Nick. I'll let you come in and see and observe how things happened. But give you some context. Build up the trust so that when the time comes, oh baby, that's it.
And that was so crazy. Like when that split happened and she was caught in his terrible,
oh my god, it was so boring
mind box palace.
I know she was bored as hell.
Imagine being stuck there.
There ain't no phones, no books to read.
She was like, no wonder he turned it into a nightmare. This is the worst. Like, it is.
Somebody get me out of here. I was also surprised that Morgaine was his sissy, his half sister.
That was
like
very.
Wait a minute, sister the whole time? Because I thought it was Merlin's sister the whole time.
I thought so too.
It's like, no, that was Arthur's sister.
Yeah. And didn't Lancelot have a thing for Morgaine? Did I like? Wasn't there something there?
Something had happened with that. I feel like
I thought so
too. Spot on.
It said she had some. I thought Morgaine had something for Merlin.
Maybe it was Merlin.
And or I thought she was training under Merlin.
I know she was training, but I thought like, I don't know, maybe I read too much into it, but I was like,
Either way, there was something happening between Morgaine and someone else that was close to Arthur that probably really made their relationships complicated. But I was thinking when we were getting that information, I was like, okay, in the 500 years, or was it 1500?
Like 1500.
It was like 1500, right?
So
like from 1500 all the way to the present, I was like, obviously some things in their history have either gotten convoluted or just straight up changed, because the line of Morgaine was supposed to be this evil line of Merlins who can control themselves, and the scions were supposed to always, pay attention to the regents. Come to find out, the regents were only serving themselves, and the line of Morgaine and the former scions are like this, and they're like, no, actually, we serve the king, not the order. Like,
correct,
the order has taken a turn, and this is not our purpose, which I also thought was interesting, because I feel like in some long-standing organizations, like, you have to make a decision, like, okay, am I going to serve the true purpose of this organization, or am I going to do the play the political game, which is what the vassals and the regents were doing. So that was an interesting little plot twist, and I'm very excited to see where that goes, because when Morgaine's descendant came back, wasn't she trying to beef with Bree? Like, when they came back and rescued her in that, what scene was that?
That was towards the
when
end.
Bree had come back. It was towards the end, but I remember Morgan had a problem with somebody.
I thought it was the round table, like the regents.
Well, I knew she
like
was
she
definitely
basically
against them.
Yeah, like she basically.
But even when she saw Bree, I thought she had a problem with her because of something that Arthur had done.
Yeah, I think.
Do you remember
that's a possibility?
Okay, maybe Arthur. I forgot the line, but
with the
she doesn't.
Order.
Yeah,
and clearly
for a good reason.
She says down with the patriarchy, and I'm a type of girl that I could mess with. Right, we mess with that.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, I'll mess with that. I'm really thinking Morgaine and Bree gonna have to do a little girl power team up or something, and wipe out all this patriarchal bullshit.
Yep. Yeah, because it's a lot. It's a lot. You got the patriarchy, you got white supremacy.
Like,
that alone is
get
just
it
too
out
much.
of here. Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't have to say more. That's too much.
Grow up.
So
so
we have Bree get caught up in Arthur's mind prison, and who has to come and find her?
Nick and Cell. Woo woo, the power duo. But really, I was just happy that Cell was there. Woo. I'm not a Nick hater, but I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I was just fine with her just checking in with him every
so often.
She checked in with him too often.
Their little dream.
Oh please, she had to. That was her boo.
That's her little boo.
She was.
That's her
but
boo.
they're like, and it's like rooted
care.
in like trust and friendship and love, though. Like that was her comfort place, was to talk to him when she was in distress. She would prick herself, get that coin, and say, listen, I need to vent a little bit. A lot is going on with me. And then maybe we could kiss a little bit.
She said, hold on, I gotta go talk to my man.
Right. And everyone knew like that was what
place.
Yeah.
Even Cell knew, because he was like, you need to feel safe right now. And he brought her little pin to prick herself.
She was like, hold on, I'm gonna try and take you too.
Always making sacrifices for her.
That poor man.
Like,
that meant a lot. Like literally from the second chapter all the way to the end. Like it's like Cell was willing to do whatever. And even though he was willing to like lie to her sometimes, which sometimes I don't like that, but in this circumstances I did appreciate it because you had to see the bigger picture.
Which
Bree was so mad when he
was like covering up his deterioration.
Yeah.
He just didn't want her to worry. He didn't want her to be stressed out about it. Like he was stressed out enough. But then she just felt the type of way because everyone else knew about it and she didn't.
But again, I think that's just another reiteration of her choice being taken away from her. So hated that for her.
The most.
He definitely did it with not like pure intentions. Like he was trying to somewhat protect her because there were so many other things happening, and she had just gone through some other traumatic things where she had been mesmered. But like, I think that had he just given her like
the choice,
this is what's happening, she would have been just fine. Like,
she would have been fine. She wouldn't have cared. Now, probably been concerned, worried, but
very.
To say that she would think he's a monster,
no,
right.
Yeah. Can we talk about? Can we just talk about Nick being on the run the whole book, being gone pretty much the whole book, MIA as fuck, and then when Cell and Bree finally go rescue him,
he runs away.
He doesn't say anything. Like he literally, they're staring at each other from far away.
They're like,
and he's like,
out of here, gotta go,
gotta go, exactly, and then takes off.
Yeah.
When I catch you, it's over. It's over. Like, but actually, it was perfect that Nick got out of there, because that gave Bree and Cell the chance to get to know each other a little better. Cell was like,
"Oh my god,
he left us, Bree. He left." Both of us.
Yeah, he left both of us.
But y'all remember that?
But it was traumatic, though.
It
had to go. It was so traumatic. They killed his father right in front of him.
Yeah, then he killed that Merlin, and they were just like, "Oh my god, Nick, he's not a good boy anymore." Oh my god,
oh my god,
he sees the truth.
Stop him.
Right. But then that whole scene of just Erebus chasing after Celebrity, I was literally, when I tell you my heart was like, I'm like,
that was
oh,
stressful.
I was stressed. I said, oh my God, he's going to catch her again.
Yeah.
Says, oh my God.
He was like,
and
I know you're here.
Cell.
I know you're here. Just come down out of that tree.
Okay, oh my gosh. And when they combine their powers,
that was
that. Woo! Yeah.
Woo! Love that.
Crazy. And so was like
so
talking to her about
that
it later.
Was basically
said, no,
like a magical sonic boom.
Yes,
pretty much.
We did that together. That was you and me. Our
Valchez was like, okay, now about every magical being within 100 miles felt that, so you might want to go.
What are you doing? He said, you knocked me off my chair. What were y'all doing out here?
Can you imagine? It's like dead quiet in the club, and it's just a fucking rumbling. Like he probably was like, I know that ain't Bree.
Like that's Bree.
You know it was.
The full
he said, "Look,
of Bree's power.
You messing up my business. They coming over here asking how they can get that, and I don't have that to offer them.
So you might want to stop.
You messing it up." But then once Bree, like she's like asleep for a couple days after that, that really like wore her out. But then when Valchez was like, "All right, honey, I got this thing that I can do. I'm just wanting to see where the your powers are from, because this is out of this world." And he was asking her like, who made the deal? Who made the deal? She was like, I don't know. Because a deal was made, baby. A deal was made. And when he found out, he was like, baby, you was bloodmarked, honey. And I love when like the title of the book comes in, like in the actual story.
It's so good. I'd be like, that's the
title of the book. Right.
Like
I said, oh, this is important.
She had a mark on her body, baby.
Yeah. He said, let me show you, because someone is going to come and collect on this. And then Cell busting that. He said, what are you doing? What are you doing to Bree?
I ain't even do nothing. Look.
Like, I didn't do nothing.
He said, no, that was there when I got here.
That's always been there.
Yeah. But this is how good Tracy is. We were getting pieces of that and seeing that. Like her ancestors would use their power, and then a man would just appear out of nowhere. Shadow King would just appear. And she'd be afraid. She'd use it again. Who was it, Justine or Justina? She'd use it again like 10, 15, 20 years later. The man appears again. She told her, she was like, look now.
Yeah.
A man is coming. Okay, when you use your powers, don't be surprised if you see this man.
I'm sorry, but Bree was so mad. She was so mad at Vera and her ancestors like that, because they wasn't giving her the tea that she really needed. She was like,
they were not telling her anything.
She said, "Bet I'm gonna pull up all of y'all, and we gonna talk one-on-one with
one by one."
She said, "We gonna let me make some calls."
She said, "Because ain't no way, the answers. Ain't no way, none of y'all
you're up."
Like, first of all, that scene where her mother,
when she got to talk to her mom,
so beautiful,
and Alice got to see her mom was crying, and she was like, "I knew Alice would be here with you."
She had not a doubt in her mind.
That was beautiful.
It was so good.
That was beautiful. And then Brie made it all the way back to Vera, and she said, "Look now, you the one that cursed us." She said, "I know you did it to save lives. I'm not going to belittle your experiences,
right?
But you didn't live with the consequences of none of us being able to keep our mothers, like for what, more than 15, 16 years. Some of them didn't even meet them because they died in childbirth." She said, I need you to acknowledge what you did to our line. And Vera was like, "Girl, don't talk to me about that." Like,
she said,
Vera did not care.
Little girl.
Vera did not care. She said, "If I possess you again, I'll slap you." And Bree burned up that ancestral place. I could not believe she did that.
That was
I was shook with that.
I said,
I was like, "Oh," I said,
"You sure you want to do this,
Bree?" I said, "Oh, you're burning it now." Are you sure? I said, "It's still burning." I said, "Bree, it's all drying up. It's gone." I said, "Okay, so now we're really on our own."
Yeah.
It felt like when Cora lost access to all of her previous avatars. That's what it felt like. I was like,
that's exactly what it was.
She got all the information she did need from them, though. Like
she did, and she was like, "This power is mine." She's like, "This power is mine. All of these choices moving forward will be mine and mine alone." And that was her taking back autonomy of her life. because baby, everybody and their mama was taking it away from her. Everybody.
Yeah.
Oof, can we talk? Can we talk about what is it called? Volition.
That whole underground railroad system. I just was obsessed with it. And when they arrived at Volition, she said, I don't know. You gonna have to ask if your friends could come in because I don't think they can.
Now, mind you, Volition was that slave plantation.
Don't recognize them,
right? You better check with the ancestors.
The former slave plantation that was like a safe space for descendants of slavery, right? And all who practice like root work and all that type of stuff. The ancestors. This is Tracy, girl. This is so well.
So good.
The ancestors, give all the power to, the people who could do the root work. So the ancestors were protecting that place, which it just felt so special.
Yeah.
For us.
And it's like the reverence and the care
beautiful
that it was addressed with. It just nothing, like no aspect of this book, and there were so many different moving pieces. No aspect of this book felt rushed or underdeveloped or unnecessary. And I just think that really speaks to Tracy's writing ability. Excuse me, Miss Deonn. We are not on a first name basis. Miss Deonn's writing ability, because there was just so much going on. Like Volition alone, like with the ancestor, the house that only the enslaved, descendants of the enslaved could go into. She said no one else is allowed to come. And she said, I don't care about your need to protect Bree. You are not
come in here.
She's
in good hands. She's in good hands. You don't need to come in here.
You're gonna have to just wait outside.
And Cell was like, you know what?
Yep.
I understand.
And they were so respectful.
He's a hothead.
Yeah.
Exactly. They were really like, okay, this is not for us, so we need to act accordingly.
So we won't stay out in the cabins, out on the outskirts of the property. But it was, I agree with everything that you said about Volition. Loved it. It was amazing. And I love that Bree had that space where she could practice her powers in the ultimate safe space. I felt like Bree was looking for a safe space this whole book. She was looking for a place where she can be and work on herself and like not have to really look behind her back. And that was like the first place where she didn't have to look behind her back, because it was a whole ancestral powered dome of protection.
Yes.
Because then even when they ended up pulling up, like at the end, they still couldn't get in.
They was knocking.
Sure couldn't.
Yeah, they were trying.
And they were
really
trying.
Even when they got
their
close,
stronger.
Even when they got close, and the ancestors came through and said, "You will not step into this threshold. Are you insane?" They said, "Never again. No, none of our people are going in chain." And actually, when Patricia saw them trying to
she said, "You might not want to do that."
She said, I suggest you not, because not Nan, one more descendant will ever be in chains. Like, that was so powerful.
And they wasn't trying to believe her.
It was so well done.
Right.
They really weren't.
And then the ground opened up.
That supremacy mindset.
Right. But before all that, before they like rolled up on Volition, when Cell took Bree, I'm sorry, this is my last.
Her birthday?
No, it's not even my last Cell moment. But her birthday present, and when he took her out, I was scared because they was leaving Volition's grounds. But he was like, "It's something special I have to show you." And like this whole waterfall,
little fireflies,
like it just really made me feel a type of way. And I know they both ended up feeling a type of way. It was just like, I love that scene.
That was my absolute favorite scene.
Literally, that's the one page that I marked. That's where he was like asking her, "What did you find out about Cariad?"
Yeah.
Girl.
He was like, "You know what that word means. Stop playing."
He was like,
"You know what it means.
You want to talk about this?
Meanings. Well, a year later? You want to talk about it a year later?
You want to talk about it?
Well, let's talk about it."
She's like, "Yeah, I do actually." He's like, "Okay, well, don't hide." He said, "I want you to look me in the eyes."
What do you think
talk
it
about
means?
it?
She was like, "Well, I think it means you care for someone, you love
sweetheart,
them,
darling, beloved,
Beloved. Yes.
He's like, and
And
I
he was
meant
like,
every
it meant
single
all
one.
those.
all of those.
I meant all of them.
All of them.
It's a trick question. I meant all of them. He said, but you already knew that, didn't you?
Didn't you?
She was
And
like,
she's
yeah, I
like,
knew
yeah.
it. And she was like, oh, you needed to make sure that it was real because I betrayed your trust. And he said, and you know what? If that's what you need from me, if this is all I get, that's fine. And she said, well, what if I want more? And she took more. And we got a kiss.
Say, give me a
There
kiss.
Woo! We got
me kiss.
a kiss.
Look, now kiss.
Mm.
And they did. And they did. And they did. And we were screaming. We were living
Literally
for it.
screaming.
When they had to be, when he like pushed her away
Up
and like
against
she
the
was still looking at him
bark
like,
of the-
He was like, stop looking at me like that.
he was like, stop looking at me like that. She was like what?
She was like, stop looking at me like that. They were.
He said, well, you need to stop looking like that. She's like what? Like you just can't wait to be back in my arms. Like, are you?
Yeah.
Don't talk to me
Please.
like that.
But here's the
Okay?
thing.
I'll
Here's
take off
what
my
I will-
panties right here in this woods. Like, please don't play with me, Sal.
But here's what I will say. They both really do love Nick because they both were like conflicted about this. But it's like Nick left. Nick left us. Nick left us. And I cannot wait to see how the this is going to play out in book 3.
Honestly, because
Sissy's got to make a choice.
it's a lot going on.
But the choice seems to already have been made.
Nick still
I
loves her
know.
though. He still loves her.
I don't.
They still
I
have
don't
love
think
for
the
each
choice
other.
was made.
I think they
Actually,
have
that's why
love
Cell
for each other.
broke their kiss up.
Yeah.
She was like,
He was
"There's
like, you
still
gotta
too many
figure that out.
questions."
Yeah, there's things you have to figure out. This is true.
right.
So
And
this
then
is
he was
why
like, tell
this
me
is
you meant
how
it.
Bree feels for Nick. It's always at this level. But how Bree is feeling for Sel and Kane, it's just slowly like just getting more and more and more. Like Nick is staying constant because he's a friend. He's Lancelot.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they have that connection. But Sel, it's like fire.
Call and response.
It is fire. Yeah. But here's the interesting thing, like, oh, that call and response, that's a good point. But here's the interesting thing.
Mhm.
Cell sacrificed so much for him.
Mm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Both of
Sorry.
them.
Cell sacrificed so much for her that in
Mhm.
the end, she
Mhm.
returned the favor. And that's why I'm like, yeah, their bond is stronger. They've got
Out of this
history.
world.
Their
Yeah.
mommies are friends.
Mm-hmm.
Mommies are friends.
Destin.
Like that's important.
Destin.
Destin.
They are.
So I'm excited to see how this is gonna this little love triangle is gonna go.
Cell was really a casualty of the order, and I just hate that. Like, I don't care that he was a prodigy. The amount of sacrifices he had to make
Yeah.
on behalf of Nick, and
Literally
then
everyone.
for Bree, like what he said when he was saving her at the end, and he said, "Just know, Brianna Matthews, that you are worth this and more." And he gave up his humanity
To save her. Yeah.
I put a
so
heart right there.
sad.
Okay, so
Like-
did any of y'all watch Inuyasha when y'all was younger?
Inuyasha,
Yeah, a little bit.
absolutely.
Wasn't he giving Inuyasha vibes just like being like half
On the cusp of good and evil.
on the cusp?
Mm.
Yeah.
It could overflow, it could turn into something, and just like the relationship he had with Bree, it felt like Inuyasha and Kagome because they would like bicker a lot, but like they always had love for each other. And
Yeah, that's well. If
It was
anything,
similar.
it
It
was
wasn't
giving. What is Inuyasha's brother's name? His older brother starts with an S. If anything, Sesshomaru. It was giving Sesshomaru because he was always seen as the villain, but he actually had a very kind heart. He did
Yeah.
what needed to be done when the time came. If anything, it was also giving Rhysand. Like, you look bad on the
Oh,
it wasn't
boy.
Rhysand.
you look bad on the outside.
Oh boy.
Oh,
But
but you have a heart
Kayla,
of gold.
Please.
I was about to say, Kayla, stop making
I-
sound.
Back up from the mic if you gonna sound like that.
But Rhysand, yeah, it was giving very much Rhysand, Aziz. I think
Thank
that is
you.
right
Like-
on brand.
Because
And
Cell
we'll- we
really
see-
always
yeah.
had the Order's best interest at heart. Now, the outside was looking like, okay, you're mean, like you're a dickhead. You always trying to start some mess, but he always cared for Bree, always took care of her, always made sure Nick was safe, and that's he got a bad rap. They tried to make him the scapegoat, and but in the end, he had a good heart. Like, he literally gave up his humanity for Bree, and that's actually one of the parts where I was crying, because I was like, well, now in the third book, there's no way we're going to be able to focus on Bree and Cell's relationship developing, because now it's going to be about Bree coming into her own power and Cell being with his mother, trying to fight against the demon in himself. Like, it just
I hope we get a little sneak peek. I hope it's a little, like, I don't know. I don't think it'll be dual POVs, but like, I just kind of want his perspective of like trying to figure shit out and meeting his mom again. I think Nick could probably have his own POV too, but I probably wouldn't be that much interested.
I don't want it.
Right. But I mean, like, I do want a little sneak peek into how he's going to like overcome this issue. Like, I feel like Cell and Bree are going to go on their own kind of separate paths. Like, they're still together, but they're not in the same space, but they all need to progress forward, because Camlan is here. Who the devil essentially is on the playing board. He's here too.
And she made,
aka Erebus.
Yeah, she made a deal with Erebus, which
another deal. Lord Jesus, he gonna eat her up at the end.
I didn't like that deal at all. I did not think that was a good deal.
She had to do.
It was giving old girl from Skin of the Sea, who made the deal with the god underneath. That's what it was giving. I was like, oh my god,
this ain't looking too good.
No, I was like, why are you offering so much? I was like, you didn't have any other ideas,
no other leverage.
I'm hoping that actually, who else was that? Feyre. She's like, I have nothing else, but I do have a soul to offer up. But you want that? Like,
that's okay, Ariel. Fantasy. That's the thing about fantasy.
Like,
when the main protagonist, they have to make these deals, risk it all, do all this, but then they always overcome and they're on top. Like, Bree's gonna learn. She gonna finesse the situation. That's all I gotta say. I have full trust.
I think so too.
But she's gonna find some sort of loophole in the deal, because again, when she was talking with Valchez and he was like very like, you have to be very specific with what you ask for, because if not, it's left up to interpretation. And I feel like I almost feel like she gave enough room to where she could, after kind of studying under him and getting to know like how he thinks, I think she might be able to play him, and I pray that she does, because that's the only way she's gonna be able to get out of this deal.
But remember, she's also like the most powerful descendant of Arthur ever, period. So once she finally gets control of her powers and just learns a little bit of the game, because I know the Shadow King, aka Erebus, is going to teach her. He's going to teach her both sides of good and evil, I'm so sure. So she's definitely got to use that to her advantage in the next book.
So this is going to be a 4-book series, y'all think?
It better be.
I thought it was a trilogy.
Or y'all think it's a trilogy?
I thought it was a trilogy.
No, it just said cycle, the Legendborn cycle. It doesn't say the Legendborn
which is giving
trilogy.
Me 4 books.
It's giving 4 or
Cycle
5.
is giving 4.
Yeah, 5. I think she might have originally planned it for a trilogy, because I was on her website not that long ago, and I think she said it was planned originally. Now,
I love a trilogy.
Changed.
Wiggle room.
I love a good trilogy, but that just means, because Bloodmarked was larger than Legendborn. So if it is going to be a trilogy, then whatever this third book is,
it's going to be huge.
It's going to be thick, because they have a lot of things to address. Because aside from Bree's power, Nick figuring out his role as Lancelot, Cell getting his humanity back, Camlan is still right here. So it's like we still
dealing with
deal
these demons.
And the regents are still a thing.
They're still there.
Yes.
They need to be defeated. Somebody's got to take them out.
And anyone else who doesn't agree, because first of all, we didn't even talk about Jonah's ass betraying Bree.
Oh yeah, Jonah.
At the cost of his life. So it's like there's just so
many forces against
pieces.
Too many.
Oh yeah.
Or it was like, she's not one of us.
Tor and Celestra, they were just like the most racist white
I'm just
women.
glad that Sar, she saw through that. She said, "Yeah, I
she
can't
said,
trust
Sar,
She said,
you voted against me? Like, yes,
bitch,
bitch,
yes.
you kind of crazy.
Yes.
Bitch, yes. Yes,
Because
I
you were doing
did.
the most this entire time.
She was snitching
We
on her
couldn't
the
trust
whole
you.
time.
Right." I said, "Sorry,
She
babe."
was
And
literally
And that's how you
their
make the
instinct
right
was right.
decision. That's how you
Right.
make the right decision, people. When your partner is being racist, you don't choose them. Okay. You go and be an ally to the person being harmed. And that's what SAR did. So I'm interested in seeing what happens with Tor. Probably nothing. The Regents will probably protect her, but
yeah.
But oh yeah, and then we still also have to
get
deal with the line of
disbanded.
Morgaine.
So, because I'm interested to see
like
how
what?
they'll come more into play.
5, 6
That's
different
like 4 or 5 different. Yeah. So book 3, whenever we get, because honestly, at this rate, I'm thinking 2024 at the earliest.
Yeah.
Because she has a lot to address. So I'm gonna, after this podcast, I'm gonna take it out my head, because if I think about it,
can't think about it
be
anymore.
sad.
If I think about it, I'll be crying and throwing up every day that I don't have that book. So
honestly,
when the time comes, Miss Deonn, we are ready for the 3rd book. We appreciate your artistry and the care with which you created this world and these characters. And we really can't wait for that next book.
Really at all.
Take as long as you need, hun.
Yeah.
Please. Take as
we'll
long
be
as you
here
need.
whenever you're ready.
Here.
Yeah.
willing and waiting.
Yep. Just spreading the good news of Legendborn and Bloodmarked everywhere we go.
You know, like, I only talks about this. If anybody ever needs any fantasy recs, like, y'all know, like, we
start
we
with
throwing
Legendborn.
up Legendborn.
Yep. Yeah, Legendborn.
And this is coming out ASAP.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for like all the other girlies to read this. I just can't wait. Like, I can't wait till like the hashtag is popping on Instagram and everybody. I love my favorite, one of my favorite things about the bookstagram world is just fan art and like digital art, just drawing interpretations of like book scenes. And I can't wait till those like artists get on to Bloodmarked, because I would love to see like a bunch of these scenes like digitized.
Yeah. Yes.
Same. I agree.
Oh, it's going to be so cute.
It is.
Well,
oh my gosh, Cell really does give very much Resand vibes, and it's everything.
Doesn't he?
Oh boy.
Doesn't he? Yeah. It's so good. And honestly, I'm gonna just go ahead and put it out there. If y'all are familiar with other fantasy series, you heard us mentioning characters like Feyre, Resand. Kayla and I just finished reading the ACOTAR series.
I'm so happy.
It's been a long time coming. I think for this 3rd book, you should go ahead and get rid of the YA and just give us full fantasy contemporary. Maybe put a few more adult scenes in there.
Oh my gosh, if there was like a time jump.
That might be book 4. That might be book 4.
If there was like a time jump and like Bree's actually in college, like
stop.
She's an
that
adult.
I don't want. I couldn't deal with, because then I'm gonna run through it trying to figure out all the in-between stuff that happens. Don't give us a time jump. I'll throw up. I can't handle it. I can't handle it. It would. But honestly, whatever Tracy decides to do,
it's fine.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're down for anything.
So right.
You couldn't
right down to her killing all of our important characters.
No.
Okay.
No.
Anything
I might write.
Too far.
I might write.
Now, do y'all still think
they can
Nick
die, but just
evil?
Make sure they come back?
What if
Nick is evil?
What if she does that? Like, what if she?
Honestly,
because I said that at the end of Legendborn, that was my prediction for Bloodmarked, but that obviously didn't happen. But what if that happens now?
I don't think it could, because unless Arthur turned away from the mission of the Round Table and Lancelot and everyone else is trying to get him back together, I don't see how Nick could be evil. But also, I'm not going to lie to you, I don't care enough about Nick right now to even be concerned. I need to know that Bree is okay, and I need Cell to somehow get his humanity back. Like, that's what I want for the 3rd one, but I really don't think that's what we're going to get, because it took all of book 2 for us to get Nick's ass back, and he barely got back just for
be
Bree and
that
Cell to
whole
be
book?
taken.
Maybe.
Yes, I do think they're gonna be separated.
Unfortunately.
At least halfway through. Because if this is a trilogy, then maybe halfway through they'll reunite and then deal with the other issues. But if this is not a trilogy, if it's possibly a 4 or 5 book series,
then I think Valchez might actually slide up in that thing because he do like Bree.
I
Bree a little bit.
That's a good
think
point.
both of her little boy toys will be gone, and Valchez is gonna be like, well, let me just go ahead and help her, because then she's still gonna be dealing with the shadow. Her like she's still gonna be dealing with that, and I think he's gonna be a good like liaison to her to just help her figure that side of things out.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
a
gonna
good
be
point.
honest. I feel like she'll be on her own though with him, with the Shadow King,
with
aka
Valchez,
Erebus.
or with
the Shadow
I think
King.
so too, Kayla.
Yeah, she'll be with him for like quite a while. Or maybe, maybe the next book might be a little time jump and it'll be like, I've been with him for 6 months. And then she's like, we learn about all the things she can actually do. Because we really have only like scratched the surface the past 2 books. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So
Sissy
maybe
is
time
like
by
a limited
herself.
power bank.
And maybe time by herself with this sorcerer, this devil, will give her time to really like figure out her true power. But Tracy could also focus on other characters, like you said. Like maybe we'll learn more about Valchez, or maybe like Aunt Lou and what's her niece's name? The
Mariah?
one that's and Mariah and Hazel. Like, what if we learn more about them?
Yeah.
And like their connection to Bree.
All of it.
I would love to see just like an army of root workers or people who can just like Black people just taking out the order with the root work and be like, here you go, ancestors, you can have the power back. We just need it for a little bit.
Right. Because we borrow. We don't steal.
Exactly.
Or make deals.
Right. Because those very rarely go
the way they're supposed
correctly. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and I guess we also have to figure out who that blood bargain or the blood mark was made with for Bree. Because was it to Erebus or was it to someone else?
I think it
was the Shadow King. It was Erebus.
Okay, so it is to Erebus. Okay. That's unfortunate.
She didn't know. Vera didn't know who she was making a deal with.
She just made a deal.
Right with that. She just made a deal, but the Shadow King made sure that he was the one to hear it.
Yeah, and he was just biding his time. He was just biding his time till the most powerful one.
He said, I've been checking in every generation, but this generation, Asylum and the Bloodmarked.
That's what he's been waiting for.
And a medium.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I keep forgetting that the medium is even separate from her being blood marked. So
correct.
Yeah, there's just a lot
much more
with Bree alone that could be explored. So whatever happens in book 3, I just know it's going to be a wild ride, because book 2 had me out my seat for most of it. So I mean, what are our ratings?
5.
You ain't even got to ask.
5 out of
5 stars.
5 stars across the board.
It was more than 5. Yeah. This is like one of the favorite reads. If it ain't top 3, not top 2, I don't know. It's one of the top reads of 2022 for sure. This is going to blow up when it's on the shelves. I think the girlies are going to clean it off the shelves. I
think so too.
Yeah. I'm like, I can only imagine what her pre-orders are.
Crazy.
Yeah. If we didn't get this, hun, we was getting ready to pre-order it.
Oh yeah, it was gonna be pre-ordered.
It was gonna be,
It still is. Honestly,
I was gonna say
because I still need. I want that hardcover to match my other.
To match.
So
love it.
Well, thanks for tuning in once again. This is the Reading Black Girls podcast, and we can't wait to have you back.